Today is the Sunday before Thanksgiving in the US, and for me, Thanksgiving has fallen to the wayside because on Friday at 12 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2 a.m. where I live, I'm going to be watching the new episodes of Gilmore Girls, and for me, this is probably one of the biggest things that's happened in my life. For me, Gilmore Girls has been something in my life that I have gone through a lot of changes with. It's been with me for the past 11 years, and I feel so strongly about a lot of things, and I wanted to do the ultimate Gilmore Girls tag before I see the revival, and before I just fucking lose my shit. I will probably be a working mess for probably the next couple weeks. I'm going to link the tag's original video below, and I'm also going to link Dana from over at the Book Hoarder because I saw her video with this tag and then I decided to do it. I'm even wearing plaid. We're gonna start with the basic questions. How did you discover the show? When I was 9 or 10, me and my family moved to Houston, Texas, so I didn't have a lot of friends. I was spending a good portion of the day by myself because my parents were at work, and this was the first time when I was basically kind of spending hours by myself after school. So ABC Family used to, or still does, run syndicated shows. Gilmore Girls used to run at 10 a.m., which I would record, and they used to run at 4 p.m. I've been with the show continuously when I was 9 to about 18. And then when I moved to college, I didn't have cable, so I kind of fell off. But in 2014, they added Gilmore Girls to Netflix, and then from then, I kind of was continuously watching it as well. Next question is, do you own the collection? And no, I don't. I wish I owned that beautiful dollhouse, but I do not like season 7. Least favorite season. Gonna skip ahead to that question. I just don't like the writing of it. I think it's very, not ASP. It's the most ironic thing in my life that I only own season 7 on DVD, and it's the worst season ever. To go with that, my favorite season is, I really think Gilmore Girls hit their stride with seasons 4 and 5, but I do find that season 3 is my favorite. The events of season 3 ended up making Rory kind of come alive in season 4 and 5. My favorite episode is probably They Shoot Gilmore's, Don't They? And that is, I believe, the dance marathon scene where Dean is like a complete asshole and just kind of like is there kind of egging on Dean's assholeness. But I feel like that episode was one of the more dramatic scenes on Gilmore Girls. They handled it so well. Alright, Luke's Diner Dash. Basically a lightning round, so I gotta answer these pretty fast. Favorite character? Paris is my favorite character because her arc throughout the entire run of the show is one of the best, and I feel like she is definitely my favorite character. Excluding maybe the Gilmore Girls, but Paris just has my heart and soul. Least favorite character, if we're talking one of the main characters, it's definitely Dean. Dean did a lot of really fucked up shit during the run of the show, and his character is, they just made him dumber. Season 1, he kind of had something going on, and I was very into kind of like Rory Dean, but then season 2 happened, and they just like dumbed him down so much. Dave or Zack, and I'm definitely gonna go with Dave. I think Dave and Lane would have lasted so much longer if Adam Brody hadn't went to the OC. Luke or Christopher, definitely gonna go with Luke, but I do think there are things wrong with both of their characters. Obviously, in the later seasons, Luke kind of, doesn't tell Lorelai big important things, and Christopher just kind of does things for the wrong reasons. But out of the two, definitely Luke. Dean or Jess? Obviously gonna go with Jess, even though they're both piles of shit. They're teenagers, they're teenage boys. They don't have the best kind of moral compass, and they both kind of fuck up. But I do think in the end, Jess kind of doesn't redeem himself, but he kind of like shows that he has grown a little bit, and Dean not so much. Final lightning round question is Lorelai or Rory. Definitely gonna go with Lorelai. Rory just You know, she kind of lets me down sometimes, especially in the later seasons. But I have to go with Lorelai. I think she's just a more interesting character, and I feel like she kind of makes the show what it is. Next section of questions is all opinions, so you're about to hear all of my opinions about this show. Do you think Lorelai overreacts with her parents? I think Lorelai does overreact because that is just her first instinct. She ran away from them for a reason, and I think that her reasoning, she feels that her parents are just out to get her, and you know, that is kind of like her personality. Do you think Emily and Richard overreact with Lorelai? Definitely. As I said before, Lorelai ran out on them, essentially. She essentially left them a note being like, hey, I'm leaving with my child. So I can see how they kind of perceive Lorelai in this way, that in order for them to kind of have a say with her, they need to kind of be loud and upfront with her, which is why I think they overreact. Next is, in the big fight that Rory and Lorelai had, whose side were you on? Definitely on Lorelai's side, because why did you drop out of Yale? Why did she not talk to her mother about dropping out of Yale? Obviously for Rory, she would go back. But I think there was a huge decision that she didn't even kind of consult with anyone about. Who would spread the fastest rumor, Babette or Miss Patty? Them working as like a tag team together, they are unstoppable. Last question for the opinions round is, how much do you dislike April? And I don't dislike April. I think when I was younger, I definitely had some resentment towards her, but as I grow up, I'm realizing that she is just a child in the situation. She had no wrongdoing because she kind of just was there. I believe the plot device of April was unnecessary in a lot of ways. She didn't have anything to do with the situation, but I do think in season 7 she is more annoying, being written by a different person than Amy. Final round, it is the revival round. And the first question is, how excited are you for the revival? Never thought it was going to happen. The show's been off for so long, and I didn't think that a lot of shows got revivals until, you know, Arrested Development and other shows like X-Files started getting revivals as well. And then I started thinking, Gilmore Girls didn't end in the way Amy Sherman-Palladino wanted it to. So for that reason alone, I think that this show definitely has a reason to come back. If you could have dinner with any cast member, who would it be and what kind of questions would you ask them? I would love to have a conversation with Vanessa Morano, who plays April, because at the time she was maybe like 14, 15 when the show was going on. She was probably getting so much hate on the street, on the internet. I feel like I would want to know her side of what she thought about April and how she felt with being sort of this hated character when it wasn't her fault. All of that was Luke's fault. He didn't tell Lorelai about her for like 4 months, and I'd kind of want to ask her about Switched at Birth too, because that show. And the final question is, how do you want it to end? I've thought about this a lot because of Gilmore Guys. The final 4 words, I believe, are definitely going to be a non sequitur. If ASP is really going to do the same 4 words that she wanted to end the show with like 9 years ago, I think it's going to be something that is going to be a throwaway. I don't think it's going to be I'm pregnant, me too, or anything like that. I think it's going to be something that's just very Gilmore and very offhand. I do not want Rory with any of the previous 3 boyfriends. I do not like that they're coming back, and I don't like that they revealed that to us. And I really just want her to not be with anyone. And I definitely don't want her to have a kid. If she has a kid, I'm going to be so annoyed. I kind of want to add another question to this tag. If, you want to do this tag, I think you should answer, how do you plan on watching Gilmore Girls? Because I know for me, I'm binging it all at 2 a.m., gonna watch all of it. And then by myself, I cannot watch it with anyone else because I do not want any talking. I want to focus, and I kind of want to digest it on my own, and then I want to rewatch it once, maybe twice more in that weekend before I have to go back to work and actually talk about it with people. I have not watched the big trailer that Netflix has been promoting. I want to go in cold turkey. I do not want to have any expectations. I might make a video about it because I will have a lot of opinions on it, and I kind of want to share that with y'all. If you've seen Gilmore, if you have thoughts, opinions, make a video and link it to me, or write in the comments about anything you want about it. Also, if you also do not like season 7, tell me about that. Tell me why, because I believe people have different opinions about season 7 if you have binged it. First time I saw season 7, I knew there was something inherently different about it, and it's definitely the writing style, it's definitely the jokes, and it's definitely different things about the plot lines that are repeated from earlier seasons. So I'm interested to see what other people think of season 7 because of kind of like our binge culture nowadays. Also, I'll be making different book videos hopefully soon. I finished a book finally within the past 4 months. Goodreads goal definitely not getting checked off this year. Too bad. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye. Gilmore's.